good friend, Suzie Kennedy, probably the world's best Marilyn Monroe impersonator, who's joined us tonight. You see, you've made me belch now.
Yeah, look at that, man.
Because I'm so hungry, having been fasting for 3 hours. And you're going to talk about a new book, but I think we're going to see a little bit, a film from the book.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a little bit of it first of all. So we're going to play that, then we're going to talk about it. And I know it's upset. But also the driver that picked you up tonight didn't come to your door. We're going to talk about that. I'm very upset about that. Okay, have a little look at this. This is from a new movie called Blonde. Because James Whale doesn't exist.
Very similar life.
Until he goes into the studio, and then James Whale takes over.
The light goes on.
Yeah, the light goes on, and I take it. Now, Suzie, we've been friends for a while now. I know quite a lot about you. Actually, you'd be better than... you look more like Marilyn Monroe and are more like Marilyn Monroe than her. Why have you been so upset? Because you seriously have come in tonight, and I thought when you came in you were going to cry.
I feel like I'm going to cry.
Well, don't cry. We're here. We'll look after you. I'm not as nasty.
Well, if you want to cry, you know, maybe
I'm on the James Whale show. Who wouldn't cry?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, tell me what...
If the trailer was like that, if the film was like the trailer, I'd be sitting there going, oh, isn't it lovely? Because the casting's great. She looks amazing. I think she does look amazing. It's nothing like that. It's an absolute assassination of Marilyn Monroe's legacy. And like you say, it's a novel. That's not pointed out. That's right at the end. The tiny little writing based on a novel by Joyce Carol Oates, which I read the book. I read half of it and threw it in the bin 20 years ago when it came out. This, if you watch it, you see Marilyn Monroe talking to a about-to-be-aborted fetus. They put the things you have an abortion, they open up inside a vagina. So I'm allowed to say vagina. Yeah, there's a group sex scene with Charlie Chaplin Jr., a homosexual sex scene. So to me, it's really anti-gay because the gay characters are just evil, and they lie to her and send her letters. Charlie Chaplin Jr. wasn't gay. It doesn't matter if he was, but he wasn't. He didn't die before her. He died after. He dies before her. So there's full-on rape scenes. She does a great audition, which is, there's part of it starts off, you're like, oh, this is going to be quite good, and it just turns in to like dark web, and it's just she's not funny, she's not witty, she's vapid. Even the actress seems to have lost interest halfway through. Then you see, you know, her talking to this baby that's about to be aborted, and then covered in blood. She's wearing costumes as her day clothes. She doesn't know that you can eat an egg. She doesn't know that people make spaghetti. She's boring. She's vapid. She's just... the rapes and seeing inside her and just... do you know what? I can't believe what I've seen. I can't believe that in a world... and Brad Pitt is the producer of this, and there's people that argue, well, it's a novel, it's not really. She gives a BJ to the president. They drag her in drunk to the president's bed, threw her on the bed, and he's on the phone and says, come on, get on with it. So she's there giving him a hand job, then gives him a blowjob, and they do a point of view onto Marilyn's face. Actually, you see this is an assassination of an icon, and they make her out to be completely... I can't believe what I've watched. And if they want to argue that, oh, it's art, and as for the filming, it's not genius. It goes from black and white to colour to... it doesn't know what it wants to be. Is it an art movie? Is it a black and white movie? Is it a colour movie? Is it a porn movie? It's a terrible movie. That's what it is. It's... if Brad Pitt... it's horrible. Do you know what, James?
Go down with other people you saw it with?
One guy walked out, and my friend has said today, and... you know, this is... my friend watches movies about serial killers, so it doesn't take a lot. And, you know, nothing really... you know me, I'm like, say what you like, do what you like. This has gone too far. This was an assassination of someone. And also an assassination of the president. That's the scene with him in it. It's horrible, and all around is... oh, it's just... if Brad Pitt...
you see, I thought, let me tell you, I actually feel a bit sick. Might be you sitting there. I actually thought we'd have a laugh about this. I thought, because they say, oh, as soon as she's seen the film, she hates it, she's going to really... but having just described what you've described, and the thing about Suzie is not only is she probably the world's best Marilyn Monroe impersonator, if you've never seen her, she's with the voice and everything, but you are you're really a Marilyn Monroe historian in a way, because there's very little that you don't know about the life and the times of Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, because if it was just me going, oh, they shouldn't show things that, you know, that she did, and there's some things that you think, you know, it is Hollywood, but this wasn't that. If it was just like, oh, there's this casting couch.
Wasn't the Kennedy thing
Well, this is
true?
what I'm saying. If I don't personally think it's true, but I wasn't there. So if they do a scene with, like, you know, her romanticising the Kennedys, I'm not really going to go, oh, that makes me feel ill. It was how it was done. She's dragged in drunk, thrown on his bed, a
Sensationalist.
point of view, a woman after the Me Too. Yeah. And then
Making him feel sick.
they make her leave the room. They're like, get out now. And then it looks like she is attacked by the security, and she's in the bathroom.
Throwing up.
They show her throwing up, James.
Yeah.
Just, it's, well, that was the sound of the cinema. It was just,
I mean, I'm, you know, but I do feel a bit ill about that, and it's the same way everybody has a go at the moment. I mean, okay, we've had a bit of a laugh about Holly and Phil, but I don't think we've said anything too nasty about them, and they're in the public eye, and it's not nasty and horrible. And we have a wind up about a lot of people, but when you do something about somebody who is an icon, which probably isn't true, it is a novel, and you go that far and that grossly, that is just appalling, because I don't want to go and see it, and lots of people might say, well, that might be quite fun. I don't think they will. I think what you said would actually make the fact that that movie will probably not get any traction anywhere. Nobody will want to go and see it. And I just wonder why. For a woman, there are lots of conspiracy theories about Marilyn Monroe. What happened to her? What did they do to her? And there have been some made. And I am sure there's evidence that could make a really good sort of...
And she would have been a good Marilyn.
Yeah.
Because it starts, when you see her do a scene, she does a scene, these are the plus points of the film, she does a scene from Don't Bother to Knock, where Marilyn was brilliant in it, and she does the scene from Nell, and I turned to my friend, I was like, that was amazing. She's amazing, and it's such a shame that that great actress, I think she's a great actress in this, and she's been degraded. She spends half the film naked, which is, I'm not sitting here going, don't show boobs on TV and don't just, I'm like, please don't censor anything. But what shocks me is how they could do this to an icon. And Brad Pitt, who's a fellow actor, can produce something like that, because how would he like it if way in the future someone does a movie with him being raped, his family being trashed, his legacy being trashed, and then for someone to turn around and go, yeah, but it's a novel, it didn't really happen, I just used her life and her husband's and her films, and they've superimposed her face onto Marilyn's scenes. It's like something from TikTok. I was like...
Is it 3 hours long?
It's 2 hours, 45 minutes. And do you know what's really sad about that? My friend was like, I feel like I've sat through this film for about 5 hours.
That's too long. Because they don't even have an intermission anymore, do they?
No.
Where you get ice
Well,
cream.
it's not too long if the film's really good. I've seen films that are great, and I'm just like, that didn't feel like 3 hours. That felt like... I mean, if I could have walked out on it, I would have, but I wanted to give an opinion on it, and people, because of my job, and you guys are going to ask my opinion. I can't go, I don't know what happened in the end. The end was even worse. Sorry, James, I've really depressed you, haven't I?
Well, yeah, I mean...
Should we talk about Uber and...
It's difficult to... I mean, you can be funny and you can be edgy and you can do all those sort of things. But what you've described to me is somebody just... It's like having a look at some of the people who troll me, which I find quite funny. But when they start talking about your family and when they start talking about your mother and sort of things like that, and I don't mention them really, and I just let them get on with it because it's better be spoken about than not. And I think, what sort of sicko individual are you? And then I hear somebody makes a movie like this, which is not... It's not a documentary. This is a movie, and it's made, although, as you say, it doesn't really... will you stop playing with my volume? You're putting it up and down as I'm talking.
Is this something else?